Welcome back to Real Talk with Dr. White, where we talk about the hard things in teaching, leading, and life. And we're going to get to the heart of some things today. Today, we have a very special guest on air with us, Miss Brenda Taylor. She is the superstar teacher that you would want every child once in a lifetime to have. So, welcome, Miss Brenda.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Dr. White.
We are so excited to have you today. And we know the start of the school year is around the corner. I'm not trying to rush you back to work, but I think it's so important for to have you on today so we can help people that are going back to work to hear some inspiring words from you and just the realness behind education. So tell us, what is your why? Why do you keep going back to this? There are so many videos. I tell people that you can Google, there are 100 million videos about why teachers quit. Why do you keep doing this? And tell us how long you've been doing this.
Well, my why, of course, is the children. I know people say that's just cliche, but it's not. I actually started my career in accounting. So education was not my first degree. And after years of being in accounting, I realized that was not for me. So I've always wanted to be a teacher since I was a little girl. And so when I got the opportunity to actually become a teacher, I truly know that it's the gift that God has given me because of my love for it, my passion for it. So that's my why. My why is me going to work every day, seeing what these children, what I put into the children every single day. So that's my why. It's not the money. It's not the summers off and all the holidays. It's truly seeing our children flourish.
And we talk often about, you brought up a very good point because we know nobody is going into teaching for the money, but
Exactly.
it's nothing like a peace of mind. And when you are happy doing what you're doing and good at what you're doing, it makes a difference. Tell us specifically, what do you do, Miss Taylor?
I am a English and language arts / social studies teacher to gifted students. I teach an optional class. I've been teaching 27 years and loving every 27 year of it. And I am in an elementary school, fifth grade.
Now, you did not start off in fifth grade because I know some people will be like, well, she doesn't understand. She's got gifted kids. Tell us where you started.
No, I've taught everything from first to fifth in my 27 years. I've looped with children. I've had a classroom full of IEPs with students who were, had disabilities. I've had a class with half traditional and half optional. I've had a traditional class where students, were from all different, walks. So not just my 27th year of, having a gifted classroom. So all ages from first to fifth. I've had first for my first 8 years, which I thought was very a great start for me because learning the foundation. So once I got to older grades, I know now knew how to go back and help my older kids who actually got to me at fourth and third, fourth, and fifth grade to even, work with those foundational skills or things they may not have gotten in the lower grades. So I'm glad that I got my early education, in first and second grade, so that by the time I got to fifth, I knew what the children should know, what they should be able to do. And if they didn't, when I had to have those RTI time where I sat down with children, how can I go back and help them to be successful and get near grade level in the fifth grade?
Absolutely. Those reading skills, knowing how to teach that, because you and I have talked about that. There's so many people that don't know how to teach reading.
Exactly.
And that's not necessarily something we didn't have a bunch of classes in college learning, how to teach children how to read. And I think you're absolutely right. I did not have that start. I started in third grade. I ran away from the little ones, but I think that experience, knowing how to teach young people in kindergarten, first, second, how to read, that can transition with you throughout all grade levels. And
Foundation is so important. If they don't get that good foundation, that's what children really struggle in the upper grades.
absolutely. So, what are some things? I know there are challenges in our profession, but talking to new teachers, how do we keep them excited, help them understand that everybody's going to have some challenges. What tips or tricks would you share today with our new teachers starting this school year?
My first thing would be is to get organized. I know everybody's not a type A teacher, but actually coming up with a plan. What can I do to make my week go smoothly? I know everybody wants to leave out the building at 3:30 every single day, but it's not easy, especially being a new teacher or even me. You're 27 and I still don't leave early. I just want to make sure I stay at least 30 to 45 minutes a day, planning for my next day, make sure I look over my lesson. I understand my standard, how to break it down to my students so that when I do come home, I can actually take off the teacher hat and put on the Brenda hat and
Right.
actually enjoy, my home life and my family and just some downtime because quickly you'll get burnt out if you bring stuff home every single day. But organization has been a key thing for me. I stay at least one day out of a week to at least grade papers. I do not bring papers home
Oh, that's
because it literally has helped me to not be so burnt out at year 27. Once I've, started that and I bring the papers home, take a day just to grade, then take a day just where I start pulling things that I need for my upcoming week. Maybe homework, it may be activities that we're going to work on. And then I get everything copied. I stay one day, I copy for the week. And on Fridays, yes, I'm leaving out there at 3:30 because I'm already, my board is set up, my PowerPoint is ready for the week. My, newsletter, everything's copied and made for the week so that anything could happen. Whereas I have to come in late, get up, got a flat tire. It
yeah,
just has helped me to not get burned out, and not only that, to not be stressed. I can actually show up at school and ready for the day, no matter what challenges we come. Of course, in education, we have to monitor and adjust a lot. We may
every
have a fire drill. We may have a tornado drill or anything, things going on throughout the day, an assembly. So we have to learn to monitor and adjust and not allow those things to, mess up your day because of course in education things will come. So that
yeah.
has really helped me.
I love that how you broke that down. And for those that her keyword, what she shared was organization. Even if you are not that type A person, I think following Miss Taylor's her plan of what she just shared. I hope you're taking notes because that was great. She said 30 to 45 minutes. She stays and she has a different goal each one of those days. So she's able to walk out of school on Fridays free and clear, no weekend work. And also, I love the fact that you said you're able to set those boundaries where work is work and Brenda is Brenda at home. So, what an amazing tip. I wish we would have learned this many moons ago.
Right.
I do remember bringing papers home every day. The bags full, my bags were just flowing over of student work, of papers I needed to grade for the week to send home in Wednesday folders. And I come home exhausted, but then I'm sitting up in my bed grading papers. And that led to a quick, fast, and a hurry burnout where I had to reset. As you can hear, Brenda works in a real school. She does her
Right.
own copies. Everybody is not fortunate to have teacher assistants or help for people to run copies for you. I think that's great. So,
Especially in the older grades. We don't get teacher assistants in the older grades. K1, 2, and 3 may get assistant, but we don't get them. It's us planning and taking care of ourselves and not being at the copy machine every morning. That things come in where you show up on the morning, machine is down, it's jammed, there's five people
yes.
standing there, and your day starts off on the wrong foot. If you're not organized, classroom management is going to go down. Students know when you are not prepared.
Mhm. That is, I love what you just said that the students know when you're not prepared and
Right.
they tend to feed off of teachers' energy because if you're flustered because you don't have that assignment or whatever it is prepared for them and you're stressing, students are going to feed off of your energy. So it's just it's so many positives as to why it's important to just get organized and think through what you want to do for the week, the previous week, not Monday
Correct.
morning trying to figure out what you want to do. Now, tell us about. I know just from being around you that you are like one of the most requested teachers in your building. And this has been in three different buildings. It doesn't matter where you are. Parents want to their children to be in Miss B. Taylor's room. viewers, just to let you know, she is the teacher of the year for this year. And, nothing surprises me with Miss Taylor. But, Miss Taylor, tell us, what is it that you're doing? I know you'll say it's nothing magical, but what is it? What's the draw as to why parents want their children? Why do you think they want them in your room and to experience your class?
First of all, I tell my students and I tell my parents, I have high expectations. Many of our parents just want their children to be pushed. I have high expectations. I am going to push them out their comfort zone, but I also tell them I'm very firm. I'm a rule follower, and I want my students to be a rule follower. So I tell them, I say, I'm not going to do anything that I don't want you to do. If I'm not going to follow the rules, then I don't expect you to follow rules. And we have that conversation, that trust from the beginning. We have conversation. We make our rules together so that when they are broken, I can come back and say, okay, you remember we made these rules and procedures together. Not only that, just letting my parents and my students know I care about them. I come to school every single day, and yes, I am one of those teachers who very rarely miss out of school because unless this is an emergency, I want my students to get their good first teaching, not just for a test, but for their future as well. So making sure I'm at school every day, I'm prepared, and I tell my parents that if they know I'm out, they will contact me and say what is going on because they know
Are you
it has to
okay?
be something that
Yeah.
why I'm not at school today, or I let the children know ahead of time. Hey, I'm taking off because I have a doctor's appointment, but I'm very rarely out. And that's one of the things it lets the children know I really do care about their education. Lets their parents know I do care about their education. I have great communication with my parents. They tell me all the time, I've never had a teacher who communicates in so many ways. Not that them calling me up on my cell phone. I mean, we reach out, they email me, they make class dojo me. Whatever I get back, I'm gonna get back to them when I have a break or when I can, get back to them as soon as possible. I don't go 2 or 3 days before I, reach out to my parents. And
Right.
they know that. They know that's a big deal. Communication is a big deal with your parents. Once you get that and establish that rapport from the beginning with them, I promise you, you will get them on your side. I tell them, I'm with them more hours awake than you are with them, and so I want to treat them as if it was my very own child. I have no VIPs, and I'm telling you, I've had my niece, I've had my nephews, I've had principals' children, I've had you know other teachers from the building children. I treat all my children the same, and I want everybody to realize they are special. So that has been a thing too, because the next year they're telling everybody, yes, they'll call me sometime mean because I'm very firm. But once they see and once they get in my class, they say, Miss Taylor, you're not mean. You just want us to follow the rules and to keep us safe. I said, exactly.
That's right. That's right. And I love what you highlighted, that the importance of communication from the very beginning. A lot of times parents just want to know, can they trust you with their children? And when there's a lag time, 2 to 3 days, that you're not getting back with them, it looks like we're trying to hide something, and that's the furthest from the truth. But I do
Right.
admire that. Now, your communication, are you sending weekly newsletters? What do you do from the beginning? What does that look like?
Before I leave on Friday afternoon, I do have a team partner. I'm ELA in social studies, and she's math and science. We have a newsletter. We make sure that we send the same newsletter. We want our parents to know that we are a team. We're not doing anything different. So everything they get is on one newsletter. So we send them a newsletter on Friday afternoon before we leave. We hit it on our dojo, and we also email it to the parents. They get a newsletter where we have spelling words, anything that we have for the week, anything that's coming up for the week. And most times, if they need to call me, they'll say, Miss Taylor, can you give me a call? And I'll reach out to them, in the afternoon when I do get a chance after school is out. Because I tell my school and I tell the children, I mean, our school allows us to use our cell phones, have them out, visible. And sometimes they'll contact us. I don't use my phone. I am teaching children.
That's
So
right.
during my time, I'll say, it's to the point that they'll buzz my room and say, Miss Taylor, we've been trying to call you. My children are my top priority. And
That's
if I'm
right.
in the middle of a lesson, because that's when I lose focus on them, and then classroom management kids start getting, into doing things
Yeah.
that you don't want them to do. And so I'll reach out after school, or reach out to my parents, during my planning period. But communication, those are the things I do. And the parents love it. Even on our dojo, I put out things that, because they're not there every single day, how
Right.
I do my morning meeting. I might video that so they can see them. I see, things that we're doing in class or activities they're participating in. And the parents really love that because they said they feel a part of the class even if they're not
Mhm.
there.
Okay, I love the fact that you just said that you are focused on your kids during the day. And to the audience, let me tell you, I know Brenda Taylor just shared that this sometimes the office will try to call on cell phones because that's what they do in that school. But I promise you, no administrator anywhere, I'm hoping, is not going to get upset with you if you didn't answer the phone because you are engaged with your students. That please remember to keep the main thing the main thing. And another part of that I think about what I used to share with my staff. You said that you typically always call parents after school.
Yes.
So important. So very important. If you get in the habit of calling people during the daytime, they're going to think they can disturb you all day long. So I do admire and appreciate hearing that. We've talked about communication. As a new teacher, what would you share? What should they be working on right now with preparing for communication with their parents?
Sure. I actually did a welcome letter. I mean, introduction letter to my parents that I gave out. We have an open house, but we also have a meet the teacher night way before school. I mean, the Saturday before school starts. So when they came in, a lot of them, even if they did know me, or I gave them information about myself, how many years I've been teaching, my loves, information about myself that really made them get into my world, and they really loved it because they said, "Oh, thank you for taking the time to introduce yourself to us. Even though we've seen you in the building, we've heard all about you." Just the introduction letter was really, the parents said, "We really did like that you actually reached out to us."
That's good. That's good.
Newsletter, even if, I mean, a simple template, just having a newsletter, nothing that's so elaborate that the parent's going to spend all day trying to read or to, decipher what you have on it. Just a simple newsletter, giving them the dates for the week or things that's going on in your school for the month, your standards you're teaching for ELA, maybe
Mhm.
the standards you're teaching for each subject. And also, I place, even though my kids are fifth grade optional, I still write their homework. We both put it on there for both ELA and math, because a lot of times children will say to their parents, "I don't have
I
homework.
have any homework.
I don't have homework." And they know because the parents have gotten the newsletter the week before. "Oh, yes, you do. Miss Taylor says you have this on tonight." And if there ever is a change where things happen that we didn't get to something, and I feel that my kids are not comfortable enough to do the homework efficiently, I send out either a dojo message or email said they will not have homework tonight due to, us not going over the standard, or me covering the material enough for them to understand and do it by themselves independently.
So it's going back to communication. You let your parents know and they get used to it so they know if you put it in the newsletter, it's there. If it's something different, Miss Taylor's going to let us know.
Absolutely.
Teachers, if you don't walk away with anything, communication to your students and your parents is so important. Classroom management. This is something that teachers sometimes say they struggle with. And you have worked with kids in inner city, in suburban areas. What's classroom management like for you? What would you like for teachers to know and tips and tricks there?
Classroom management, procedures, procedures, procedures. I start day one with a PowerPoint. I mean, after we've done our introductory little activities, I start out day one. We practice. It may be, "Oh, you've been in this school since fifth grade." I don't care. We practice how to stand in line in the hallway. We practice how I want you to line up. So we may take 2 weeks just practicing those, those procedures. How do I want you to put your homework away? How do I want you to, come in and get unpacked and get started on your bell work? So putting all those procedures in place day one has made a huge difference. My students know exactly what to come in. They know it's quiet time. Come
Yes.
in, get sharpen your two pencils, get started on your bell work, and then we have our morning meeting. So putting those procedures in place day one, and not trying to just give them all at one time. We may practice, even if it's a workstation. We stand up, we practice rotation, how to go to the workstations, how to go to put up your homework get your homework, whatever it is for that day, we practice. Practice, practice, practice. I mean, I can't say it enough. Practice and putting those procedures in place. I promise you, and not giving them too many steps at one time.
Yes.
Because remember, these are children, and if you give them way too many steps, they'll forget, and then they'll, get in trouble. And they'll say, "But Miss Taylor, I forgot." No,
Mm,
we've practiced this. Let's go
right.
back and think through. What do we say? How do I signal that I need to get up to go get a tissue? My
Yes.
students do not walk around the floor because for safety issues for myself and other students, I stand and teach all day long. So
Yeah.
while I'm walking, our proximity, I am standing near them. I may be teaching in the back of room with my clicker. Even though I'm, using a PowerPoint, I'm always not just standing in front of the room. So I'm constantly moving, so they never know where I'm going to be, and that actually keeps down classroom management.
Oh, that's great. That is great. And I love that you said it doesn't matter if they've been in the school since fifth grade. I know sometimes we are guilty of, oh, well, they're in seventh grade or they're in eighth grade. They should know this by now, or they're in ninth grade. They should know how to behave. But the honest truth is, year to year, things are different. Different teachers have different expectations. And unless you are going through your procedures and setting the tone of what's expected, you can't assume that they're going to know that. So, I love that you said it's just practice, practice, practice from
Right.
everything. How do I get a tissue? When do I sharpen my pencil? How do I ask you to go to the restroom? So, thank you so much for sharing all of that. So, classroom management, it truly isn't anything that's magical. It just sounds like as a teacher, you have to be consistent.
I mean, you can't just stand in one spot. Kids know that. So the
They do.
ones at the back, no, I can cut up because she's not going to move to the back. But if you're constantly moving around your room, even if somebody's talking, you just tap them on their shoulder. I keep going. I never stop my instruction. I always just tap them. They get back in check.
So I just heard you say, just for the viewers out there, new teachers, Miss Taylor is not making a big deal calling, hey, Corey, I need you to stop. She's just tapping on the shoulder and keeps it moving. A lot of times you don't need conversation. Just your proximity makes the world of a difference. And yes, we all know there are extreme situations to everything. There may be kids that have their emotional disturbed or different things, but still, even with kids with certain disabilities, routines, procedures in place help to minimize a lot of the behaviors because some kids come in anxious and with them not knowing what you expect, they're going to act out just to, you know, draw attention away
Exactly.
from whatever it is if they don't feel like they know. Thank you so much, Miss
You're
Taylor, for
welcome.
sharing all of this. I think this is going to be helpful for so many people. All right, Miss Taylor, we are ended or coming to the end of our interview. Is there anything else you want to share with our viewers today?
Just give yourself grace. As a new teacher, don't go in thinking you need to be super teacher, and feel free to ask questions. No
Yeah.
question is a dumb question. I tell my team, I've been a grade chair for the longest, well, a team lead, some schools call. And I tell even new teachers coming to the building, even if you've been teaching 10, 12, I don't care how long,
That's
every
right.
school is different. Every school has different procedures. Feel free to ask me if you have any questions. I teach fifth. I have kindergarten, first, second grade. Different teachers ask me, Miss Taylor, do you mind sitting down with me? No, I don't mind sitting
Mhm.
down with you as being, just to guide them through the process of, hey, can I come in your classroom and watch you teach so and so? I do not mind. But just give yourself grace and understand, yes, this is a process. It's not going to happen, all overnight. And don't try to do it, come in and have this big elaborate classroom. I'm tell you, a classroom that's what over decorated does not mean you're a great teacher.
That's right. That's right. Being over decorated does not equate to being a super teacher.
Exactly.
So I would love for viewers out there, if you would like to support Miss Brenda Taylor, you all know that the school doesn't buy everything that you need. So Miss Taylor does have an Amazon wish list that I am going to post in the comments and also in the description. So please feel free to visit her Amazon wish list. And if you have any additional questions or topics, please share in the comments and I will get those to Miss Taylor and we will respond as needed. So thank you so much for watching today. Thank you, Miss Taylor, for coming on. I'm sure we will have you back. You have so much wisdom and knowledge, and she does an amazing job in her classroom. She's been consistent for 27 years. So again, thank you for sharing your wisdom, and please be sure to subscribe to my channel for more information that will help you.